Hello and welcome back to the second tutorial for using Wik Editor. So today I'm going to quickly show you how you can find some sound and add that into your assets and bring that into your animation or interactive story or whatever it is that you're creating. So for this I'm just going to go to a website called bensound.com. Now when you do go onto this, you'll notice that there's loads of different ones that you can use, and the majority of this is copyright free. But it is worth adding this to any planning or documentation that you have to show where you got this music from. So you can listen to a quick sample, or you can download it, and it will download it as a music file that you can upload straight into Wik Editor. So I'm going to have a look at this acoustic folk music, and I think I like this one. Yeah, it's quite upbeat, it's quite happy, so I'm quite happy with that one, so I'm just going to click download. You can have it as a pro license, but as this is just for animation for your assignment, you can just download it because we're not using it for anything else. We're not downloading it anywhere, we're not putting it onto YouTube or Facebook. Okay, so that is now downloaded, you should be able to see that, and I'm just going to show in my folder, and I'm just going to download this into my assets folder here. So I'm going to go back to my Wik Editor. Now again, what we do is we go launch editor, and as I previously mentioned in my last tutorial, it will say, oh, we have found an autosave, but for now we're just going to delete that one, and we've got our blank stage just there. And remember last tutorial I told you about the asset library? Well, all we need to do is go upload assets, and you can see that it's got the name in there, Bensound Buddy, and it saved it as an MP3, so I could just click on that and click open, and you should see that it is now appearing in this asset library. Okay, so how do we add this on? So if I click on this layer and I just put sound and click off, you'll see that that has now renamed that layer, and it's always good to label your layers so that you know what it is that you're working on, and you click on the frame that you want it to go on. Now if you click on the music that you want, you should be able to drag it in. So if I now stretch this out for as long as we need it, you should see it's now got the sound waves to show you that this is now this now has audio to it. So if I go play, you can see that it now has some audio attached to this timeline, to this animation or interactive story. So now I want to add a background to this, so I can click this plus, and just out of habit I'm just going to drag it to the top of this other sounds layer, which I'm also going to lock so I don't accidentally try and draw assets on there. So on this layer, you'll notice obviously there's all these different frames. Now if we were doing a lengthy project and we had lots of time, we would be fully using this timeline, but because we are quite short on time, I'm going to show you a really quick way of completing an interactive story using the most basic way possible. So every time you click plus, that is adding a frame. Now at the moment it is just a blank circle inside. It isn't actually containing any assets in the form of graphics or sound or anything at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a rectangle. I'm just going to grab a colour. Let's have orange with a slightly darker outline. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm just going to draw just that covers the white so I can know where I'm working. And I'm going to grab an eclipse tool, and I'm just going to grab, I don't know, like a yellow. And I'm going to have the same colour for the stroke as well. So I'm just going to click off. as I say, this is going to be very basic. You can do more in your own project, but I'm just trying to quickly show you how we can put some graphics together. So just be careful, like here, you would have that weird bit of underneath the eclipse showing, so you just want to make sure that you're hiding it. And then at the moment they would be able to see something like this. And this is a really poor attempt at a background scene, but I'm going to add in some assets. So let's go to upload assets, look at my assets folder, and again all of these images are copyright free because they are from Pixabay, and if I was to publish this I would have to say where the assets came from. So what I'm going to do is I want an asset in there. I might have it's the American couch, but a sofa in my background. So I just click on it and it says add asset to canvas. Now I'm quite happy to just add it on top of my background layer, but you can put these on a different layer. So at the moment this is huge, so I'm just going to hold shift and make it smaller. Now I'm just going to put that in there. And yeah, I'm going to keep this quite simple. I might add some text on the top. So to add some text to this, you just need to click the text button and you'll see it's got a little T. And I'm just going to call this... Where is this music coming from? It does help if you make sure you check your spelling as you do this. Now at the moment you'll see there's no functions at the top to be able, or no properties to be able to change the text size or colour, apart from before you start you can put the colour in there. If you click off and then click on the cursor or C and click the text, you'll see that the properties come on all the way down the side. So you can change the opacity of the text if you just want it to be quite subtle. You can change the fill colour or the stroke colour if you want to, as well as the font, the style, the weight, as well as the size. So I'm just going to change this to 60, and it's a bit too big, so I'm just going to change that to 48 and then move it down. It's still quite big, so I'm just going to put 46. Yeah, just center it. So where is this music coming from? So you're going to have someone looking at this, listening to the music, saying, where is the music coming from? I really don't know. They might know, but it's just an example that I'm trying to show you. So this is our first frame. So I'm going to call this story. Okay, so that's our first background there. And if I click play now, you won't see that beginning one because it's one frame and it's very, very quick. So generally it's about 25 frames per second if this is going to play as an animation. There are ways of changing the frame speed, but for this we're not going to worry too much because we're going to use buttons to take us to different frames. So on this second frame then you'll see that it completely disappears. Everything that we did is still there, but we're just going on a new frame. If you were using Adobe Animate, you would create a new keyframe, so a new point of animation to continue your work. So for this one, so we used a orange background. I might put this as a, what colour background do we want now? Maybe a blue background. Okay, and maybe just put a darker blue outer layer. I'm just going to cover that up. Okay, like so, and then I'm just going to create an ellipse tool. And this is very unorthodox. Normally I would use lots of shading, but just to quickly show you a simple way, just going to show you this one. So, just changing the stroke colour so it looks more natural, and use my cursor. I'm just going to delete that bit. Okay, so we now have our very basic background number 2. So we've established from the first frame that the music is going to be coming from somewhere. So now this is going to be the second place where we might get someone to come and have a look and see where the music is coming from. So let's have a look at where, let's put a random doghouse. Let's have a look and see what that looks like in there. And again, this is from Pixabay. So I'm on my correct frame, and I've clicked on my doghouse, and I'm going to go add asset to canvas, and again it's almighty huge, so we're just going to make that smaller. And there's our very random doghouse here, and we're just going to add some text saying it doesn't look like it is from here, ... So press enter, it will make it go smaller. Oh, it disappeared. Let's try that again. Again, if you make a mistake, you can just go undo, 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 and normally it should undo. It doesn't look like it is from in here, ... Okay, and then frame 3, we could have another room. So let's make this one, let's go for a purple this time. So go for a purple, and then just get a little eclipse, and let's go for like a lighter purple. Just put that on there. And again, I want to use an asset, so I'm just going to add an aquarium. I know, it's one of those things you wouldn't think of the stuff that you would find as assets, but I just thought this was quite a fun one. So I'm going to add my aquarium to the correct frame. And again, these appear to be absolutely huge, which is good. It doesn't matter if they're scalable graphics, but if they are anything else, it's good to make sure that they don't lose their quality as they get made bigger or smaller. Okay, so here is my aquarium. So I've got my frame 1 is a living room, where it says music coming from. My second one is with a doghouse, and it doesn't look like the music's coming from in here. And this one, there's a fish tank, so could the music be coming from within here? Now I'm just going to add another asset in here. I'm just going to add something to go in the fish tank. Fish, I know they will come later, but I found this asset, and I don't know, it always reminds me of things I see in pet shops. There's all these wacky things that can go in fish tanks. So I'm going to add this skull to my fish tank, and perhaps this is where the music could be coming from. So all of these graphics that I'm using are PNG, so that they have a transparent background, and you can see that whatever is in front appears in front, so my layers. But there it is, there is my fish tank in there, or my skull in my fish tank, and it looks like it belongs in there. So what I'm going to show you in the next video is how you can go to each of these scenes using buttons. So we can either create some arrows to go back and forth, or it can be assets. So you could have things like these fish that we had a look at. It could be that you have a fish that becomes a button, or you know, some weird stuff. So we'll have a look at that in the next tutorial. But in the meantime, practice creating or adding sounds and creating different backgrounds for your project. Okay, I'll see you next time.